Hello, my name is Sarina Blacher and I'm a second-generation survivor. My father, Jack Hasson, otherwise known as Jack, was born on the Island of Rhodes in December 1927. He had the most amazing childhood, being part of this very close-knit community, living in the Juderia, the Jewish neighborhood. In July 1944, the Jews of Rhodes were rounded up by the Nazis and sent on the transportations to Auschwitz-Birkenau in Poland. His father, mother and younger sister were sent to the gas chambers on arrival, and he and his two sisters were sent to the labor camp. The younger of his two sisters did not survive very long in Auschwitz. She died of starvation. He was then sent to Charlottenburg, where he worked as a coal miner until January 1945. In April 1945, the Nazis evacuated the camp and they were taken to Mauthausen concentration camp on a forced march lasting about 20 days. By that stage, he was suffering from typhoid and sent to the camp hospital. He always spoke about a Greek doctor whose name he could not recall and a close friend who cared for him. If it were not for them, he would never have survived. He was liberated by the Americans on the 4th of May 1945 at the age of 17 and weighing a mere 27 kilos. My father was the most amazing man. He spoke a lot about life pre, during and post-war and was happy to speak to anyone who would lend an ear, and just like most survivors, did not want the world to forget this passage of history. Very often the question was asked, what was it like growing up as the children of a survivor, someone who had seen such hate and atrocities? I always found this question a bit strange because we were such a normal, close family. Both our parents showered us in love. We grew up in a very warm and welcoming home, and often our house was the house for friends and family to meet. My father was a very gentle human being. The word hatred was to be avoided at all times because of the hatred and cruelty he had seen in his time in the camps. Something that will always stick with me is when my father used to say, "No one is born knowing hate. You learn to hate." Looking back now, I realize it was quite something for him to be a normal father after going through what he did. After the war and recovering in a displaced persons camp in Italy, he moved to Africa, met and married my mother, and settled in Zimbabwe and had 4 children. He saw many grandchildren, and he was always so proud of his family. So when I think back, I'm so grateful that my father was able to move on and have a very happy and fulfilling life. It could never be easy to close his eyes at night and shut out the terror, hurt, pain, and loss that he endured. He wrote a testimony, and I just wanted to quote the last 3 lines of this testimony. "Life is the most precious commodity. Live it to the fullest of your ability. That will to live is what kept me going." Thank you.